thought I'd just do a little word association thing, WCW version, about 12 names. If they're cool, well, I know you're going to say pretty much everyone's cool and everything like that. But if you've got if you've got a tiny story to throw in or just a little funny tidbit,
Okay.
do let me know. I've got about 12 names, and the first one, Tom Zenk.
Oh, just a very good worker, very good worker. But I think he gave himself too much heat by complaining a lot, and I think he got to the wrong ears from complaining too much. But great worker and a nice guy too, man.
Yeah, he had the look and everything. I never understood why he didn't, go further up the card.
Yeah, it's sometimes when you complain a lot or I don't know,
Yeah.
it's just one of those things.
Missy Hyatt.
Um, did some things with her with her and Medusa had a bikini contest and she
Yeah.
was a lot of fun. I got Missy was a really nice person. To me, she was a sweetheart, so I just got good fond memories of Missy.
Tony Schiavone.
Um, Great announcer, I mean, uh, him, Jim Ross, there's the guys that just, I don't know, it's their voice, you hear their voice and you just get excited about a match.
Hmm. Ricky Morton.
Great guy. Probably got in more trouble with him than I cared to.
Oh, you got to mention what? No, I
Yeah.
won't. I won't
When
force
I
it.
first got on the road, I was a little wild too and wanted to kind of fit in. Ricky Morton was a wild man. That guy, I tell you something, he can go night after night and still have a 10-star match. It's just incredible, man. He was a machine. I don't even know how he's still alive, but
He's still doing hurricanranas and stuff. He's like 150,000 years old and he's
I
still doing
know.
flips. It's amazing.
But he's one of those guys you just love him, man.
Hmm.
He's always in a good mood too, always in a good mood.
Still got the mullet as well.
Yes.
Mr. Sleepy, Curtis Hughes.
I saw him in an autograph session a couple years back and didn't have a lot of interaction with him, but was always amazed at how he could sleep standing up. So, he had a gift, and you couldn't tell because he had glasses on all the time.
The Steiner Brothers.
Tough guys, man. Didn't have a lot of interaction with Scott, but became fairly friendly with Rick. And I actually spoke at Rick's kids' school,
Mm.
which was really cool to meet him about, oh gosh, 6 or 7 years ago. And then, of course, inspiring him at his school and then seeing him go on to, try out for the NFL. And now he's in he's with the WWE or NXT in one of the programs.
Mm. Brian Knobs.
Another, funny, crazy, man, geez.
You've got a story in there that you just can't say out
Yeah, you
loud,
know
haven't you?
what? I don't like to implement anyone because of humor, but I do remember we were backstage at one of the arenas, and it was a trainer's office, and he gave me something to. I mean, we were doing a lot of drugs back then too, man. He gave me something to inhale. I don't know what it was, but I ended up in my rental car, so out cold. So that was my memory of Brian Knobs.
Paul Orndorff.
I only worked with him a couple times. In fact, the match after I wrestled Brian Pillman, one of my best matches, I had to wrestle him the next night on Monday Nitro, and but easy to work with. Old school, easy guy, not a lot of high spots or anything. Just listen and just these old guys, the old timers, man, they knew their stuff.
Speaking of which, Rick Rude.
Oh man, I gotta tell you, I wrestled Rick when he was a world champion, and it was for like Saturday Night Live on WCW, and I was just amazed how he took this young Johnny B. Bad character and put me over. I mean, he let me do so many things, like where it looked like I was going to be the champion. 1, 2, barely kick out. And just made me shine. And I was like so thankful for that. But also a very tough guy. Nobody messed with him.
I've got three or four. I haven't got my glasses on, so I'm not reading them. I've got three more. Shane Douglas.
You know what? I remember riding in the car with him and Ricky Steamboat one time or a couple times, and very knowledgeable, smart guy. But people don't give him the credit. I don't really know, but he's a very intelligent man. And good conversation, good memory too, like matches and things. It was just amazing listening to him and Ricky Steamboat talking.
Scottie Flamingo, Raven.
You know what? I don't give Scottie enough credit, but I want to give him a lot of credit right now. When I first got in the business, they put me with Scottie in a lot of the house shows, and I learned so much from him, and just very, very, very smart guy. I think he's got a really high IQ, but he's a really smart guy, and he really worked with me and helped me out a lot. And I probably should say that more in my interviews, but he really, I can't thank him enough because he really helped me develop the character. I mean, we did some silly thing when it was Scottie Flamingo, who's the prettiest in WCW. We're fighting over who's the prettiest. So you look back on some of the stuff we did, it's just hilarious.
You learn never to share a car with him, though, because it'll just talk your ear off.
Yes.
And one more, Paul Heyman.
Oh man, one of the guys when I was the guy that got beat up on television, I remember one day, I'll never forget this. He was on the payphone at a lot of the wrestlers stayed at the Hilton, and I remember after I was a little dejected before I heard that Dusty Rhodes thought I looked like Little Richard. It was like when I was it was the time before I came. It was my first time I came, I believe, and I remember walking by him on the payphone. I didn't even know him. I mean, I knew who he was, Paulie Dangerously, it was like, I know who he was. And he said, hold on a second. He held the phone down and he goes, you're going to be big in this business. I'll never forget that, man. And I was nobody, and he just, I don't know. It just made me feel so good that somebody like him recognized, I don't know what it was he saw in me, but it just made me go, wow, maybe I can really make in this business. And then, of course, the next time I came was when Dusty gave me the little Johnny B. Bad character.
Do you smell what the Rock is cooking?
Enough is enough! Booty, poo, candy ass! I had him writhing in pain with my sharpshooter. Rocky! I am not a nugget!
Stick him straight up your candy ass!
I kicked your leg out of your leg.
The Rock has come back!